Chaney will have that advantage, but I think in the long run, Fitch will be able to adjust to the shotgun. Last year we were slow and started adjusting to the shotgun, but once we did get adjusted, we shut Bevo down.
The Falcons lead the overall series with the Chaney Cowboys by 13-6 count. We talked about the pressure that is going to be on the defense, and it will be the Fitch defense that will be introduced tonight. The starting defense for the Falcons at the tackles will be number 65, Tom Buck, a 6'1", 220-pound senior, and Bill Rowland, number 75, 6'2", 235-pound senior. The noseman will be number 25, Bill Davis, 5'6", 160-pound junior. The outside linebackers, number 86, Ron Strollo, 6'3", 200-pound junior, and number 23, Dan Sorego, 6'1", 172-pound senior. The inside linebackers, number 53, Chris Bernai, 5'10", 190-pound senior, and number 31, Donnie Jones, 5'10", 185-pound senior. The secondary this week, cornerback is number 30, Eric Luckage, 6'1", 184-pound senior. Free safety is Rich Morrow, number 9, 6'1", 180-pound senior. The halfback will be Mike Starry, 6'1", 175, a junior. And the strong safety will be number 1, Rich Turner, 5'11", 175-pound junior. We are going to go down to the field in just a second. We'll pick up the playing of our national anthem played by the Austintown Fitch Marching Band. Beautiful night to play football. It's not too warm, but I just found out that we're now having the playing of the Austintown Fitch alma mater. We now have all the pregame festivities out of the way. Taking a look at what future Falcon opponents did in their first week of action last week. Next week's opponent, Columbus Marion Franklin, lost to Lancaster 29-14. Lancaster's a powerhouse. At the close of last year, they were just narrowly defeated by Canton McKinley. Boardman got off to an impressive start with a 44-6 win over Newcastle. Glenville lost to a powerhouse down at Worcester 19-14. Massillon beat Akron-Buckle 7-0. Cardinal Mooney, of course, beat Chaney 15-14. Warren Western Reserve beat Cleveland John Hay 34-8. Canton McKinley beat Canton Glen Oak 27-12. And Ursuline started off with a 7-0 victory over Struthers. The teams are out on the field. We are going to be setting up for the opening kickoff. The Cowboys will receive. Chris Bernai is the kicker for the Falcons, who did a real nice job last week against Menor. Back deep to receive for the Chaney Cowboys, number 34, Tyrone Reynolds, a speedster. Number 30, that's number 34, and number 40, is Alan Mikovich. Bernai is set, and we are set for game number 2 of the 86 season. And there's the kick. It is a high floating kick going inside the 5-yard line. Mikovich takes it at that point, bringing it to the center of the field, and he is dumped short of the 20-yard line. Number 30, Eric Luckage. Number 1, Rich Turner. And number 60, John Dorenzo, all in on the tackle for the Falcons. And they, of course, accomplished that one goal we talked about last week, keeping the opponent from starting inside their 30. Good coverage and a good kick by Chris Bernai all add up to 1st and 10 for the Chaney Cowboys at their own 18-yard line. Vivo, of course, is the quarterback. Benson and Reynolds are in the backfield. He has wide receivers to both sides of the field. And on 1st down, he drops back to pass. He's firing it out to the left sidelines. He has a receiver open, Tyrone Reynolds, and he's out across the 40-yard line.
And all we've seen there, Randy, was just a little throwback screen. And again, the element of surprise deep in their own territory, coming out throwing right out to bat, especially a screen pass.
That was a prime example of Vivo's potential out there at quarterback. He was able to set up the defense and suck most of the defensive line towards him, set up that screen really nice.
Gain of 25 yards on the play. It will be 1st and 10 from the Cowboys. The ball is at their own 43-yard line. Vivo with his backs in the eye. Again, wide receivers to both sides of the field. This time, the handoff goes to the second back route. Tyrone Reynolds, the tailback. He carries the ball across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Number 65, Tom Buck, made the tackle for the Falcons. Gain is 3 yards on the play. It will be 2nd and 7 now for the Cowboys. The ball is at their own 46-yard line. Setting the Fitch defense, again, the outside backers are Strollo and Sorego. The inside backers are Bernai and Jones. The front 3 are Buck, Davis, and Rowland. Vivo, the quarterback. 2 receivers to the right side. He's rolling to that direction. He dumps the pass off. It's complete to Reynolds. He is stopped short of the 50-yard line. Strollo and Sorego out there on the stop for the Falcons, along with Donnie Jones. Gain of about 2 yards on the play.
Chaney's using an interesting pass defensive here. Instead of this pocket pass they used last year against us in the shotgun, he's using the run and the shoot that Menard used so effectively last week.
Once again, Chaney has wide receivers to both sides of the field. All 4 Chaney receivers are back from the squad from last year out of the 5 returning starters from last year's offense. Vivo is rolling to his left. He's under pressure. He fires, and it's overthrown. Turner and Donnie Jones were on the coverage. Good pressure that time in the backfield. Bill Davis, the noseman.
Tom Buck and Dan Sorego. Dan Sorego, the outside linebacker, did his job. He was able to come up and contain Vivo and put needed pressure on him.
John, we saw pretty good pursuit out of the front line people there, and a good drop-off by the linebackers.
Yeah, that's going to be the key really tonight, Randy. We've got to get good outside pressure and, try and contain Vivo. Make him pull up and throw the football a little bit sooner than he'd like to.
Vivo is Mr. Everything for the Cowboys. He is the punter. He gets the kickoff, and Mike Starry takes it at his own 20-yard line. He's out across the 25, and he'll be up close to the 28-yard line. And that will be a kick of about 30 yards. And after Chaney got off to a quick start with a long pass and a nice run, the Fitch defense tightened up and did a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's what we did, Randy. We came with some pressure, and, of course, Kevin pointed out the fact that Chaney is doing a little bit of what Menard did last week. And, of course, Menard, at the beginning of the football game, the first half especially, was quite successful with, the sprint outs, running that run-and-shoot offense.
Eric Luckage is the quarterback. He has Donnie Jones and Leo Hawkins in the backfield. The handoff goes to Hawkins, and he is across the 30-yard line, the 35, and out to about the 37-yard line. Good gain on 1st down.
Left side of the offensive line, Randy, did a heck of a job there. They were able to peel off all the outside people, and Leo made a nice cut right off all their blocks.
The Falcons used the sweep to great advantage against Menor last week. Leo piled up a total of 139 yards in the first contest of the year. Yakabuchi is the wide receiver. Rich Morrow is the wingback. Luckage on the keeper. He's looking for a receiver. He fires over the middle, and number 86 was the intended receiver. The ball was a little high, and Strollo just couldn't come down with it.
And that's that was a big play we lost there, Randy, because Strollo was wide open, and really I think what we're doing already is taking advantage of the types of defenses Chaney likes to play. Chaney likes to do a lot of stunning and dealing inside with their linebackers. They like to, turn their linebackers loose a lot, and of course, our offensive staff is trying to take advantage of that early.
It will be 3rd down and 3 yards to go for the Falcons. The ball is at the Falcon 36-yard line. We have just about 9 minutes left to go. Handoff again goes to Leo Hawkins, and Hawkins is out to about the 40-yard line, and that should be very close to a first down. We are back. We had a minor technical problem. We lost all the power up here in the press box. The Falcons did pick up a first down on the last play that we had, and they have driven down inside the Chaney 45. It is 1st and 10 Falcons at the Chaney 43-yard line. Handoff is to Donnie Jones. Donnie's inside the 40 and down to about the 37-yard line. One of the key plays in the drive that we missed was a 15-yard gain by Jones out of the fullback slot. We have 7 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. No score, but the Falcons are driving. John, we've seen, again, the kind of line play that we saw against Menor and pushing the Chaney defense around at this point.
Yeah, we are doing something that I know Mooney could do last week, Randy. We are controlling the line of scrimmage. I guess from what they tell me, Mooney had a difficult time, especially, from tackle to tackle, trying to move the football on Chaney.
Joe Carson is the Fitch center. Luckage still the quarterback. Handoff goes to Hawkins inside. He's down inside the 30-yard line, and that hole opened up quickly in the middle, and Leo took it from the 37-yard line, and it will be another first down all the way down at the Chaney 27-yard line, 28-yard line.
And, of course, we have a little bit more deception, I think, in our offense than what Mooney does, and I think what Mooney had a problem with basically last week was the quarterback. They've been so effective past few years with the option, but it wasn't too successful for him last week.
1st and 10 Falcons, Chaney 28-yard line. And Luckage faked the handoff inside to the fullback and tried to hit Leo Hawkins, the tailback. The pass came up just a little bit short, and it will be 2nd and 10 now. One of the things that we talked about before, Kevin, was the line differentials. The Fitch offensive line averages 214, Chaney defense 213, so across the line it's not too bad, but when you look at the nose man versus the center, you're looking at 206 versus 225, and so far our center's done a pretty good job on the heavier nose man for Chaney.
Key there is near perfect execution by the offensive line. They're doing what they have to do, and it's making our offense go.
Handoff inside, and the carry is down to about the 20-yard line. Donnie Jones again out of the fullback slot. His gain is about 8 yards. It will make it 3rd and short once again for the Falcons. It will be 3rd and 2 from the Chaney 21-yard line.
Donnie's kind of surprising me there, Randy, with his footwork. He's avoided and sidestepped a few tackles here early in the football game. That kind of surprises me a little bit. I thought maybe just be trying to run over people.
Handoff on 3rd and short goes to Leo Hawkins, but that time number 77 for Chaney, Carl Sterner, the 247-pound lineman, met Leo Hawkins in the background, and we are going to have a 4th down situation for the Falcons. Last week in a 4th down situation down near the goal line, we saw the Falcons decide not to go for the 3 points and go for it on 4th, and it looks like that's what Coach Hartman is going to do again. It will be 4th and 4 now for the Falcons at the Chaney 23-yard line.
Chance to do some coaching, Randy.
He's got Leo Hawkins in the slot. He has 2 receivers. Rich Morrow comes in motion, 1 back in the backfield, and it's Donnie Jones, and he's inside the 20, but he'll come up short of the first down. That time we took a lot of people wide to the left side of the field and then handed off inside, I guess trying to catch the Chaney defense asleep, but they were able to hold and stop the Falcons.
Yeah, we tried to spread them out a little bit, Randy. Ran some motion there and trying to loosen things up a little bit inside, and they did with something quick, and Donnie come up only about maybe, what, a yard short, half a yard short?
The Falcons don't put any points on the board, but that was an impressive drive. They drove all the way from their 23-yard line, I believe, down to the Chaney 19. But the Cowboy defense holds inside the 20, and they take over for their offense. 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Vivo again fires to the outside. He's got a receiver. Number 12 made the reception. That is Mike Kolar. And just as the Cowboys went to the left side on the pass on first down last time, they do it again successfully and pick up another first down on a first down toss by Vivo.
And they give us a little different look, Randy. They went from their pro set, and this time they come out with what, they call a twin set. And, we did have a few problems last week, so maybe now they're trying maybe to cause a little bit of confusion there in the secondary.
This time they send two receivers to the right side of the field. Durkin and Kolar split out to the right. Vivo on a straight drop back. He's looking, he's firing long, and he has a receiver. Number 34, Tyrone Reynolds, out of the backfield, makes the reception deep at the 41-yard line of the Falcons. Kevin, that was a real nice play and a nice throw by Vivo.
I think what they're starting to do now is Chaney is exploiting the zone defense and running the secondary. And as they're putting two receivers out on that side of the field using twins, they're sending those two receivers into one zone, and it gives only one man to cover two receivers.
First and 10 for the Chaney Cowboys. The ball is at the Fitch 41-yard line. This drive started on their own 19. There's movement in the line, and the penalty flags fly. It looked like number 75, Gary Vivacqua, jumped a little bit early for the Cowboys. Set the Chaney offense. The tight end is number 88, Tom Thorne. The tackles are 73, Dave Brown, and 66, Pat Murphy. Carl Sterner, number 77. The guards are 66, Pat Murphy, and 75, Gary Vivacqua. The center is number 78, Mark Tabashino. The quarterback, of course, Jim Vivo. The split end, they alternate several there. Number 10, Chris Durkin. Number 12, Mike Kolar is the flanker. The fullback is number 24, John Benson. The tailback, number 34, Tyrone Reynolds. That cost the Cowboys 5. It is first and 15. The ball is at the Falcon 46-yard line. Inside 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Vivo again on straight drop back.
Oh, geez.
That was it. And he fires, and he has his receiver, number 40, driven out of bounds. Alan Mikovich. It looked to me like Dan Sorego was just about tackled in the Chaney backfield.
I was going to say that, Randy. The first tackle was made before the ball was even thrown. And see, those things like that bother myself, and I know they bother a lot of other coaches, because that's right out in the open, and there's no excuse for how an official can miss a call like that. That's uncalled for.
Gain of 9 on the play. Second and 6 now for the Cowboys at the 36-yard line. Fitch defense is shifting. Vivo on a keeper, and he is snagged by the noseman, number 25. Bill Davis made a big play. Vivo was on the quarterback keep. It looked like he was going to run up the middle, and they had some room, but a real nice play by our noseman.
Just a little quarterback draw there, Randy, and of course an outstanding job by the inside people there on the defense.
I just got the word from Mr. Crano down in the PA booth that we've been having some power difficulties. That's knocked out our PA system, the loudspeakers, and also knocked out power momentarily.
All right, now the real problem is this Chaney drive. It's 3rd and 8 now, and the pass, it's wide open again. And the pass is complete down close to the 30-yard line. It was completed Vivo to Chris Durkin, and that will be very close to another Chaney first down. It depends on the spot. Looks like they're going to call him a yard short. It will be 4th down. We saw the Falcons go for it on 4th and 4 just a few minutes ago, and the Chaney defense held. Now it's up to the Fitch defense. 4th and 1 for the Cowboys. The ball is at the Fitch 31-yard line. 3 backs, power I. And handoff goes to Tyrone Reynolds, dives across the 30, and that will be good for a first down.
And they come right at us. See, we were in some type of a goal line defense there, Randy, and they got pretty good movement up front on us, and we're able to pick up the first down.
As I mentioned, this Chaney drive started at their own 19, stopping the Falcons on 4th down. And now they are all the way down to the Fitch 29-yard line. We are inside 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score yet, but Chaney certainly threatening here. Vivo has been very impressive throwing the ball in this drive. And he drops straight back, rolling to the left. He fires out into left flat, and he completes the pass. It will be complete to number 12, Mike Kolar. Short gain on the play. It will be a gain of about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 now for the Cowboys at the Fitch 26-yard line.
And Chaney's showing a lot of patience, Randy. Just a ball control type offense, even though they're putting the football up every, 3 out of 4 plays, but they're only 10, 15-yard, high percentage type passes.
Vivo fakes to the back. He fumbles in the backfield and falls down at the 37-yard line, and that is a big break for the Falcons.
Yes, Randy, that puts them now in about a 3rd and 15 situation, 3rd and 12. And sometimes it's a little bit easier to play pass defense now when it's an obvious passing situation, even though you're still going to have to stop a guy like Vivo.
Key to that defensive play was number 60, John Lorenzo. He came in, he stopped up the play. He came in, made a good play, and he kept Vivo from getting around him.
Big play, 3rd and 17. Vivo dropping back. He's under pressure. He's rolling to the right side. John Lorenzo again chasing him. Sorrego chasing him. He's got a completion. Tyrone Reynolds at the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
And there, Randy, what happened again is what happened last week. We had people that are not staying at home. Especially if we're in a zone defense there, which I think we were. People are vacating their areas, and this is what happens. I don't think that was, it looked like a screen pass, but I don't think that's what it was. I think he was just like a safety valve or a release man, and he just happened to throw it up for grabs, and he was there. But we should have had some people over there. Everybody got too concerned about Vivo, got into a pursuit course and forgot about some of the responsibilities.
Vivo to attempt the point. The kick is up, and it is no good. That makes the score Chaney 6, Fitch nothing. That was a case where he was able to scramble around long enough, and he hit the speedster Tyrone Reynolds, and it was all over on the foot race. Tyrone Reynolds has great speed. Chaney Cowboys come up with a very impressive drive. They go 81 yards for the opening score of the game. We talked about the confidence builder that they had last week against the Mooney Cardinals, and Kevin, I would assume that getting out to the first score of the game has to make that confidence even higher now.
The Falcons came into this ballgame with a high amount of confidence. So right now, after that, what you can call a huge play where the Falcons thought they had Jim Vivo for a sack, but they scored the touchdown, really can slow teams down. This also brings back memories of last year where Jim Vivo was really tough to corral there in the backfield. He's got quickness. First, initially, when he does get the ball from the center on the snap, he has quickness getting back and setting up. It gives him that extra amount of time to look downfield and find where his receivers are.
Number 67, Robert Kendall will kick off for the Chaney Cowboys. Leo Hawkins is deep to receive for the Falcons, along with Fred Smith and Mike Starry. 6-0 Cowboys. The kick is a good driving kick. It is Fred Smith taking it at his own 12-yard line. He's taking it up the center of the field, and he is hit initially at the 26, and he's dropped right there.
And, of course, obviously now, Randy, the Cowboys are, needless to say, a little fired up. And what we've got to do now is at least come up with a pretty decent drive offensively, and hopefully we can put some points on the board this time, we have the football.
The Cowboys got off to an early start against Cardinal Mooney last week. They led 8-0 at the half. They lead 6-0 over the Falcons, and there is less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Leo Hawkins. Hawkins is going to be stopped at about the 30-yard line. That play was stopped pretty well by the Chaney pursuit to the outside. We had success there early, but that time Chaney got to the outside and stopped it.
And hopefully I think we can come back here and go at him a little bit more, Randy. I think, probably the big gainers that we had there in the beginning of the first quarter there, I think we were running more at them than, from sideline to sideline. So hopefully maybe we'll go back at them again.
Sean Rogers in the ball game now at the split end. Sorrego, the quarterback, he's firing over the middle. He intended to pass to Rich Morrow, but the pass was thrown a little bit out in front of him and into the ground. It will be 3rd and long for the Falcons, 3rd and 7. The ball is at their own 30-yard line. We talked before about the Falcons alternating quarterbacks last week. That is the case once again this week. Eric Luckage took the first offensive series, and now at the helm for the Falcons is Ted Sorego, number 7. His backs now, Fred Smith is in the ball game at fullback. Leo Hawkins out of the tailback slot moves to the left. Falcons have 3 receivers. The pass is complete to Rich Morrow at the 40-yard line. He's still on his feet at the 50. And there's a collision across the 50, a big play for the Falcons. He tried to turn that inside. He had the first down and turned back inside, and there was a meeting of the minds and bodies as well out at the 46, 47-yard line of the Chaney Cowboys.
Sorego showed a little more poise there, Randy. The last pass, Morrow was just breaking open, and he just, must have felt a little bit of pressure and threw the ball too soon. There he sat back there and waited, just long enough for him to clear and threw a nice pass.
That is the end of the first quarter of play. The score at the end of one is Chaney 6 and Austintown Fitch nothing.
And what we've got to do, Randy, and I know this is what Coach Hartman wants to do, is defensively, we've got to do a better job of containing Vivo. Sometimes, you get kids, you want them to come hard, but you got to come hard with some control, because what they do, they come out of control and just run right by them, and now that leaves them out in an open field and just puts too much pressure, on your secondary people and linebackers.
Coach Hartman at the Touchdown Club last week talked about working a little bit on eliminating over-aggressiveness in the defensive secondary. He likes aggressiveness, but he just wants to control a little bit. And Kevin, I think we saw a little example of when Vivo was rolling around in the backfield that it was a little bit of over-aggressiveness that got the Falcon defense in trouble on that Chaney drive.
Many defensive linemen fail to realize what you have to do when you're trying to sack a quarterback and attack his upfield shoulder. Vivo with the quickness in his feet, and most linemen are rather slower than quarterbacks. I can attest to that. The idea is you have to attack his upfield shoulder and home in on the quarterback. I think over-aggressiveness, some of the players might have got too eager to get the sack, and Vivo was able to escape the grab.
Falcons have a 1st and 10 at the Chaney 46-yard line. This is their second drive of the ball game. The first one was good, but stalled at the Chaney 19. Sorego, the quarterback, Morrow, the wingback. Handoff inside to Fred Smith, the fullback, and Smith stays on his feet, shows pretty good balance. He was hit at the 44-yard line and was able to keep on his feet all the way down to the 39-yard line.
And again, that's what I would like to see anyway, Randy. I think, we've had a lot of success there. And Chaney, again, like us, is not real big, but they do have some quickness, and those linebackers like to vacate in a hurry. And sometimes I think, we can slow them down a little bit if we just concentrate our attack maybe on the inside a little bit more here.
The gain was 6 yards on first down. It is now 2nd and 4 for the Falcons. Handoff again goes to Smith, and Smith this time is dropped at the line of scrimmage. The play looked like it was designed to go right. That was stopped. Smith tried to cut it back to the left, but good job by the Chaney defense stopping him from being able to cut it back out.
It's certainly a pivotal first down for the Falcons. They want to maintain any sort of intensity that they lost after the Chaney touchdown.
They converted on 3rd and long last time with Sorego completing the pass to Rich Morrow. Sean Rogers is the split end. Morrow is the wingback. He comes in motion to the right side. Handoff goes inside to Leo Hawkins, and absolutely nothing going there. Loss on the play. Chaney really was ready for that. I think, John, that looked like a case where Chaney brought everybody.
Well, what they did, they tried to set that play up, Randy, with that quick or short belly, the previous play, but they come back again in a 3rd and long situation, really 3rd and 6, and you're right. Chaney brought everybody. They just got too much penetration, because I think there was probably supposed to be a trap there, and somebody probably come right in behind the trap man, and it just caused a lot of confusion, obviously, there in the backfield.
Eric Luckage in the ball game to punt for the Falcons. He had an excellent week last week, real good hang time. The coaches were pleased with that. This will be his first effort of the night. The line of scrimmage is the 42. A high kick, but very short. It bounces at the 30, takes a Fitch bounce, but it will go out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
I think what the Chaney defense is starting to do is what they did basically last year, use everything but the kitchen sink as their defensive strategy. I remember last year getting the scouting report for Chaney, they had at least 7 or 8 variations of stunts.
Once again, the Falcons were able to put a pretty good drive together, but it stalled once they got into Chaney territory. This time, the Cowboys will take over 1st and 10 at their own 22. 10 minutes left to go in the first half. The Cowboys lead 6-0. Vivo with a single setback. The handoff comes to that setback, and number 53, Chris Bernay, and number 60, John Dorenzo meet the Chaney fullback in the backfield. And, well, they'll give him credit for a yard on the play.
I think they're going to give him credit for getting back up around it. And all Chaney's doing here right now is just trying to keep us honest. Of course, they're deep in their own territory, and they've got to run the ball, you know, every once in a while anyways to keep us as
that,
of
course, is the first time they've run the ball on first down. The first two drives they had, we saw them throw. This time they came back with the run. They pick up a yard. It will be 2nd and 9 for the Cowboys at the 23. Vivo rolling. He's under pressure. Dan Sorego almost got him. He fires over the middle, and Tyrone Reynolds dropped it, and it's a good thing. That would have been a first down. Reynolds is really elusive. He's got good speed, and he's done a good job getting open coming out of the backfield.
And there, again, I think is a good example of, you know, coming too aggressively, Randy. See, we had a good shot at him. If he'd have come under control and just made him pull up and delay a little bit, this also gives the defensive secondary and especially our linebackers a better opportunity to get in position. We want to make him, you know, throw the ball sometimes maybe when he doesn't want to.
Rich Morrow is the safety. Eric Luckage and Mike Starry in the backfield along with Rich Turner. 3rd and 9 for the Cowboys at their own 23-yard line. There's a quick pass to Tyrone Reynolds, and he's going to be very close to the first down. Once again, they hit their speedy back out of the backfield.
What happened there, Randy, was we shifted our defensive secondary and moved our strong safety to the wide receiver to bump and run him so that they couldn't get downfield as far, and then back from the backfield was able to grab that pass quickly off of Vivo.
That pass was good for the first down. He got just a yard more than he needed. It is 1st and 10 Chaney at the the Chaney 34-yard line. Less than 9 minutes to go in the first half. Chaney leading 6-0. Handoff is faked. It's the option play. Reynolds is outside, and he is going to be out close to another first down. Good fake on the inside, and then Vivo ran the option and hit his speedy tailback, Tyrone Reynolds, and the Cowboys pick up another first down. Cowboy offense has been very impressive here in the first half.
There, Randy, all they did was ran an option away from our outside linebacker that time. We had nobody out on that side actually to play the option the way it should be played. They left the pitch man alone. They drove off on the cornerback, and they actually had nobody on the pitch man.
1st and 10 Cowboys at their own 45-yard line. This drive started at their 22. Handoff goes to Reynolds again. He looks like he's in trouble trying to get to the outside, and he gets almost back to the line of scrimmage. A host of Falcons out there. Dan Sorego, Donnie Jones, Mike Starry, and Bill Davis all out there pursuing for the Falcons.
He did that play with 23 outside linebacker Dan Sorego, who was able to come up and make Tyrone go all the way around him, which gave our secondary a chance, and they took on out the play.
The loss was 1 yard on the play. It looked like it was going to be worse than that for a while, but Reynolds' speed got him close to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 11 now for the Cowboys at their own 44-yard line. Vivo straight back. He has a receiver over the middle, number 10, complete to Chris Durkin. Another first down, and the Cowboys are in Falcon territory again.
And not a bad job that time defensively, Randy. We had 3 or 4 people there, but they just ran a little, maybe 10, 12-yard hook or curl and put the ball right on the money. And it's kind of frustrating when you're playing defense against somebody like that, because there are on many occasions when you do play good defense, and still a guy like that can make you look bad.
Under 8 minutes to go. 1st and 10 Cowboys. And that time Vivo overthrew. He was intending his pass to George Phillips, but it was overthrown out of bounds. Donnie Jones, Rich Turner, and Mike Starry on the coverage for the Falcons. It will be 2nd and 10 now for the Cowboys. The ball just inside the Fitch 40-yard line.
And again, we played good defense there, because you could tell by the type of pass that Vivo threw around. He just lofted the ball. He tried to loft it in over, I think, a cornerback, or the outside linebacker, I think it was. And, you know, I hope he does that more often, because we'll pick one of those off and maybe take it in for a score. He didn't have any zip on that ball.
Vivo straight back, looking over the middle. He doesn't have any receivers, and the pass is complete. A nice throw. And that was completed to number 24. That's John Benson.
Number 60, John Lorenzo, has the toughest job out there on the back. He's the short side of the field outside linebacker, and he had to drop back and play pass coverage because the linemen are used to rushing, and then he had to come and become a secondary man.
The Cowboys are going to take time out. There are 7 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Cowboys have a 3rd and 3 at the Fitch 34. We talked a lot last week about the influence of momentum and those sort of things on the ball game. And of course, right here, the Cowboys are up 6-0, feeling very confident. And I would assume that the Fitch defense is probably just sort of scratching their head about how in the world are you supposed to handle this guy. And another score at this point could really be devastating.
Hi, Randy. I looked for maybe the same adjustment that, we've seen last week. We're just going to, we've been trying to keep a lot of people back and just rush maybe the front four and hope that Vivo doesn't have a good night and he's off the mark. But I think we're going to have to decide here pretty soon that, whether or not we want to bring a lot of people. I know that's risky and dangerous because, as we pointed out, he is just going with a ball control type offense and throwing short passes. And if you give up your linebackers, you vacate that area, it really makes it that much easier for him to complete those passes.
Defensive coordinator Jack Kinney out on the field talking to his troops.
In the secondary, I think the Falcons will start using more man-to-man coverage, so Chaney can't flood one of the secondary persons zone with 2 or more receivers.
Potentially a big play, 3rd and 3 for the Cowboys, but we're probably in 4-down territory for Chaney. Vivo calling the signals. Power eye. The handoff goes to Reynolds. He's got the outside. And Rich Morrow finally drives him out of bounds, but not before Tyrone Reynolds picks up a Chaney first down all the way down at the Fitch 16-yard line.
And we had the inside stop, but again, we were not getting what I think anyway is a good game out of our outside people. There again, we had people, he just bounced outside off the out tackle hole and really wasn't anybody there.
1st and 10 Cowboys, Fitch 16-yard line, 7 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the first half. Handoff is inside to John Benson. Benson drives inside the 15-yard line. He will be marked down at the 13. Chris Bernard, Don Jones, and John Dorenzo combined for the stop for the Falcons.
Well, needless to say here, we've got to, stop this drive because if they get 2 scores up on this, it might be tough, even though there's a whole half of football left yet. It might be tough for us to put 3 scores on the board.
Vivo rolling to his left. He fires over the middle. Intercepted. Rich Morrow picks it off at the goal line. He's still on his feet out across the 10, the 15. He's out at the 20. He's out all the way to the 50-yard line, and we come up with a big play on defense. Jim Vivo, the Chaney quarterback, stopped him from going the distance for the touchdown. But, Kevin, when you needed a big play, we couldn't have asked for one better than that.
That's exactly what happened. Rich Morrow made an excellent, if not a picture-perfect play in the secondary. He watched Vivo's eyes and his arms. As soon as he released the ball, it came right in front of the Chaney receiver and took that ball right out of the air.
John, you called it. He was going to put one of those up that our defensive backs were going to have a chance at, and we took advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, I know probably Coach May's upset because he probably didn't get his read right. That's a pass he had to read the safety on, and, of course, as Kevin said, Morrow did exactly what you'd want him to, sit back and wait till the last second and come up and make the interception.
Leo Hawkins, the ball carrier. He's out across the Chaney 45 down to about the 43. Leo did a good job of turning that back to the inside. The play looked like it was designed to go outside. Leo cut it back inside for good yardage.
Which side do you think the momentum's on now, Randy? Just looking.
Well, I think the guys in red now are the ones that are fired up. Chaney had a chance to go up by 2 scores and really put the Falcons in a hole. And instead, the return was all the way out to the 50-yard line. It looked to me like about a 48-yard return after the interception. And Leo reels off 9 yards on first down. It is 2nd and 1 for the Falcons. The ball is at the Chaney 41-yard line. 5:15 left to go in the half. Eric Luckage is the quarterback. Handoff goes inside to Fred Smith. Smith has good yardage inside the Chaney 35.
And that is, again, the type of play I want to see. I'd like to see, again, not a delayed belly, but, those quick hitters. I think, we've been so successful with those. We got to maybe stay with those a little bit longer until they stop us, and then maybe we can go to something off of, one of those types of plays.
Center Joe Carson and guards Tom Buck and Dan Black are doing a good job of opening up the middle for the Falcons. All night they've been giving the Falcons good yardage. I'm
predicting about a 6-play drive here, Randy, for a score.
6-play, go in with less than a minute to go. I'd like that. Luckage rolling. He has him in open. Fred Smith has the reception. He's inside the 20. He's brought down on a nice open field tackle by number 40, Alan Mikovich, for the Cowboys. Real nice throw on that play.
Well executed play there. Nice fake inside, and of course a well-ran route or pattern, and an excellent throw.
That's one play tomorrow on the film the Falcons are watching. I really enjoy to watch. That was good execution by all the 12 members of the offense.
12? No wonder it worked well. First and 10, Falcons. Chaney, 16-yard line. Handoff goes to Leo. He's coming around the right. Cuts it back to the inside, and number 55 for the Cowboys, Robbie Sylvester, hits him, and fortunately for the Falcons, he hit him towards the goal line, and that will be good enough for about a 2-yard gain.
And that probably was a play that we were most successful with last week, and I think that's probably a play that Chaney spent a lot of time on, and they've practically shut that down up to this point in the ball game anyways.
Second down, 8 yards to go for the Falcons. The ball is at the Cowboy 14-yard line. Eric Luckage rolling. He's going to keep. He's inside the 10. Eric Luckage is a big, strong kid. 6'1", 184-pound senior. That time he was rolling, he didn't have a receiver open. He kept the ball, and they're going to see if he's close. He should be very close to another Falcon first down. And the officials are going to call time, and the chain gang will have to bring the chains all the way across the field to measure.
Mr. Luckage can go pat number 66, guard Dan Black on the back there. He made an excellent block on their outside people that let Luckage get around the corner.
While we have the chance, let's set that Fitch offensive line that's done such an outstanding job 2 games in a row. Joe Carson, the offensive lineman of the week, is the center. The Falcons do pick up the first down. The guards, number 66, Dan Black, number 65, Tom Buck. The tackles, 75, Bill Rowland, 77, Damian Billick. Split ends rotating are Sean Rogers and Steve Iacobucci to bring the plays into the ball game. And the tight ends are Ron Strollo, number 86, and number 84, Eric McMahon. First and goal, Falcons. Chaney, 6-yard line.
End over, Randy.
Leo Hawkins, touchdown!
Again, this is something that we've done in past years, is come out, especially there after, a momentary delay in the game, and come out with that unbalanced line, and I think we caught the Cowboys unprepared.
Leo Hawkins goes in for the score from 6 yards out. That ties the ball game up 6-6 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half.
Got a little Marcus Allen, they're up and over the line. Right now, I look for the Falcons to use a long count so they can get full Chaney outside and bring the offense back onto the field.
Burneye in tentatively, and it works. Burneye lines up. The Falcons use a stutter count there, and teams for years have had trouble with that.
I wanted to ask Kevin what they do there, because, it's similar to what Cardinal Mooney has done for years and has probably won them a lot of football games, but regardless of who we're playing, it always seems to work.
Now, Kevin, if this is a trade secret, let's not give anything away.
If you don't want to tell us, Kevin.
Oh, sure, it's not a trade secret. What it is if the person holding the ball gives the count to the center, and he mixes it up every time.
And this is what Mooney used to do. Mooney used to have their up backs, the blocking back in their punt formation, used to call the cadence, and just something about, I guess, his tone of voice or whatever,
Interestingly enough, the Falcons are not going to try the 2. They drew Chaney offside, but they're just going to get Chris Burneye a yard and a half closer. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it's good. Chris Burneye converts on the point, and it is now Fitch 7 and Chaney 6. That was something the Falcon coaches worked on a lot this week. As a matter of fact, one day after practice, they told the varsity players that they were going to run 20 40-yard sprints, and then before they did that, they were going to have PAT practice. For every PAT they were successful on, they'd take off 1 sprint, The incentive was good. They made 7 out of 8, and it turned into a point here tonight.
When did this practice come about?
Guess it might make you concentrate a little bit more, I guess, Randy. Not too many of those guys like to run those wind sprints.
Last week, the Falcons converted. They scored 3 touchdowns following 3 Menor turnovers. Chaney Cowboys have committed 1 turnover tonight, and the result is 7 points for the Fitch Falcons. One of the things that coaches always talk about on the mark of an excellent football team is being able to capitalize, and the Falcons have done that 2 weeks in a row.
Well said, Randy, because that's exactly how it is. If you can take advantage of the opponent's mistakes, and capitalize that like we have, we're going to win a lot of football games.
Chris Bernay kicks off. He has a high driving kick. It's taken at the 7-yard line. The ball is out across the 25, number 12, Mike Kolar on the return for the Cowboys. He'll be down at about the 27-yard line. 20-yard return for the Cowboys. Once again, the Falcons stop their opponent inside the 30 on the kickoff.
And I have to give Coach Hartman a lot of credit. I'm looking at those numbers out there on the specialty teams, Chaney. They're not a whole lot different than those people that are playing offensively, especially. And I guess that could get risky.
I think that may be a legacy of Canton McKinley, however. First and 10 for the Cowboys. The ball is at their own 26-yard line. They have 3 minutes left to work with. Jim Vivo, that's certainly plenty of time for this talented quarterback. He drops straight back on first down. He's looking, he's rolling, he fires, he lofts one in the air, and he completes it.
And again, Randy, what's happening here is, we're getting our outside people here, whether it's the cornerback or defense, look like the cornerback, we're putting him in the pickle because we're pressuring from one side, not the other. Vivo seems to be always, drifting to the side where there's no pressure. Now you got that outside person there in the pickle. He doesn't know whether to come up or drop back, and I think we got to decide one way or another. We got to either pressure him or play pass defense.
Turner and Starry were on the coverage. First and 10 for the Cowboys. Passes over the middle, almost intercepted. I think Donnie Jones, the inside linebacker that was covering on the play, was screened by the receiver because that ball got there all of a sudden, and Donnie just wasn't ready for the pickoff, and the Cowboys dodged a bullet there.
Donnie Jones certainly doesn't have luck against Chaney in the interception department. Last year, another one bounced right off his hand.
The Stickham's not legal anymore, is it?
No, I don't. Fred Biletnikoff, I think, was the last guy we've seen.
Second and 10, Cowboys. Second and 10 at their own 41. Vivo dropping straight back. He's scrambling around in the backfield, and that's always real scary. This time he's going to run it. He's got the corner turned out across the 50-yard line. And I'll tell you what, he gained 10 yards on it, but frankly, I think I'd rather see him have to tuck it up and run the ball than have him hit those receivers for the long pass.
The words right out of my mouth, Randy. I would much rather see him do that, and I'm sure Coach Kenny would much rather see him do that because I don't think he's going to pick up that kind of yardage all night, and it'd be nice to see a couple of our defensive people get a nice shot. We're not hoping or wishing that anybody gets hurt, but sometimes this is what happens, and if you give them a couple good shots, you're going to go back there and start throwing the football, maybe looking for a few defensive linemen coming after him instead of maybe the receivers.
That is the second timeout taken by the Cowboys. They took one in the earlier drive. It will be first and 10 for the Cowboys at the 48 of the Falcons. 2 minutes, 19 seconds left to go. You watch Jim Vivo scrambling around out there throwing that ball, and it sort of brings to mind a few other names like Zordich, Calcagni, Kavanaugh.
You're giving me a headache, Randy. One thing I like there that I've been pointing out here for the last couple of minutes, Randy, you notice we had pressure from both sides. And, of course, we've been doing a decent job inside with people, but then, of course, he's able to, break containment, come outside, and that pressure that we're getting from inside is almost wasted. That time, we got pressure from both outside people. Now those tackles, who I think have been doing a good job inside, were able to get to him, make him hurry the throw. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of this. I'm very confident, in our coaching staff, and I'm sure in the second half you're going to see, some defensive adjustments and a little more pressure being put on Vivo.
Give you some of those defensive names for the Falcons. The guys on the front line, Bill Davis, the nose man. His backup is number 52, Darren Fetzko. The tackles are Buck and Rowland, backed up by Cooper and Billick. The outside backers are Sorego and Strollo, backed up by McMahon and Dorenzo. The inside men are Chris Bernay and Don Jones. And the secondary, Luckage, Morrow, Starry, Smith, and Turner. First and 10 Cowboys, 48-yard line to the Falcons. Vivo taking a lot of time, fires over the middle. He has his tight end, number 88, came up with the reception. That is Tom Thorne, a 6'4", 205-pound junior. And the pickup on the play will be 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Cowboys going without a huddle. They are inside the 2-minute mark. They have one timeout remaining. They're at the Fitch 39-yard line.
I was just going to say, look for something deep, Randy, but
the dump off is to Tyrone Reynolds. Reynolds is inside the 35, and that will be good enough for another Cowboy first down. That time, Reynolds looked like he was just back to protect Vivo, and when the men came up, he dumped it off to Reynolds, and Reynolds was able to use his speed to get down for the first down.
I give credit to the secondary because I think their primary receiver is supposed to be a deep receiver. I think we're expecting to catch us flat-footed, Randy. It didn't happen.
Vivo back on first down. Firing, he's got a man open. George Phillips makes the reception. He's at about the 21-yard line. The clock will stop while they move the chains. This drive started at the 22-yard line, and they are all the way down to the Fitch 20. They have used just about 1 minute and 45 seconds. They have 1 minute 15 left, one timeout remaining. Vivo rolling outside again, scrambling around. He used the official as a blocker. There's a penalty flag down. The pass is complete at the 15-yard line.
Kevin, who was that? That looked like he was hit below the waist. Is that what they call there? I wasn't sure. I know there was like a crackback block thrown on a lineman. And
we'll take a look at the official call. It is clipping against the Chaney Cowboys, and that will negate the 5-yard gain.
I'm always confused as to when and even if you can hit below the waist. You know, that rule seems to change so often, and I'm not exactly positive, and I thought maybe.
Last year, the zone for inside linemen was from tackle to tackle, where it was legal to hit below the waist. However, I recall many a game where many a blocker came below the waist and from behind.
You sometimes wonder, you think there's Ray Charles is out there working someplace. You know,
I think what we possibly might be a problem for the defense right now is that we're having our one outside linebacker who's away from the rollout of Vivo drop back to pass. That leaves the tackle to contain on one side.
Well, this is what I was pointing out earlier, Kevin. That seems to be what's happening. He keeps coming back to where we're cushioning, you know, with that weak side or backside.
That first down pass was intended to the tight end, number 88, Tom Thorne. It was incomplete. Dorenzo, Turner, and Jones on the coverage. Chris Burneye also over there. Pretty good pressure on Vivo. We are inside 1 minute to go in the first half. The Falcons clinging to a 7-6 lead, but the Cowboys have mounted another drive. They are back at the Falcon 39 following that 15-yard clipping penalty. Cowboys have one timeout. There's going to be a halfback pass. Tyrone Reynolds looking to throw. Now he's going to run, and he's got lots of room. He's inside the 30, down to about the 25. It looked like the Falcons had the initial Chaney play, the halfback option pass stopped, but it worked out pretty well for the Cowboys because Reynolds used his great speed to go from the 39 to the 24, a 15-yard pickup on the play for the Cowboys.
Right there.
Go ahead, Cal.
Our outside linebacker on this side of the field stopped the play up nice. He made Tyrone Reynolds scramble, but what happened again is that our backside pursuit is over-pursuing. That can leave the outside on the backside open.
We were sort of lucky there. When I saw him start out with that group of blockers, I saw about 2 red shirts that were going to try and stop a convoy of 5 Chaney Cowboys with that speed. Fortunately, the men that were there did the job, and some others came over to help. The Fitch defense has done a pretty good job with pursuit as far as people getting to the ball once the play develops.
That, even though it was a broken play, Randy, almost turned out to be a very successful play because, you know, you give a guy like Reynolds the opportunity to carry the football out in the open field like that is, and Kevin probably will attest to that, they're usually pretty difficult to bring down one-on-one like that in the open field, and the defense did an excellent job of containing him there and got help from several people and kept them short of a first down.
The Cowboys took their final timeout. They will only have the sidelines and first downs left to stop the clock with. They have 46 seconds left to maneuver in the first half. Their immediate problem is a 3rd and 15 situation. The ball is at the Fitch 25-yard line. They need to get just inside the 10 to pick up their next first down.
The Falcons brought in an extra defensive back now, so they have 5 people in the secondary and only a 4-man rush.
They have Turner, Starry, Morrow, Luckage, and Hawkins in the defensive secondary, the 5 backs. Jones and Bernay are the inside backers. They have Dorenzo and Dan Sorego on the line, along with 65, Tom Buck, and I'm trying to pick up that other number. It looks like 78, Dave Cooper. That's it, Dave Cooper in the ball game on the line, going with the 4-man front.
Now, I'm wondering what the delay is here, Randy. I see some people looking up towards the scoreboard, but I don't see anything out of line or out of order there.
It may be that the Cowboys are claiming some time ran off the clock that shouldn't have, and that may be what's happening. I know when Chaney called timeout, there was some hollering going on, and I didn't realize what it was at the time, but the clock may not have stopped on time. The Cowboys will get the benefit of 4 additional seconds, so it will be 52 seconds left to go in the first half. The Cowboys are at the Cowboys are at the Fitch 25. Vivo rolling out. He's got lots of time. He dumps it off over the center to number 24.
Fumble, Randy.
John Benson has a fumble, and the Falcons recover.
Donnie Jones on the recovery.
You know, we talked about Donnie Jones a lot last week. Lots of fumble recovers, 2 in a row, and Donnie Jones once again comes up with the football, and that would have been good enough for the Chaney first down, and that's twice that the Cowboys have been within scoring distance and have come up empty because of turnovers.
And we hate to keep talking about Donnie Jones, Randy, but, you know, I mean, when he keeps coming up with the big plays, the key plays, he's in on almost every tackle, you know what I mean?
Well, I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot more from him all season long. Sorego in the ballgame at quarterback, hands off to Fred Smith. Smith takes the handoff and goes out to the 15-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play. I'm sure the Falcons will be content to go into the locker room with the 7-6 lead. And again, they are not going to make any attempt to stop the clock. We're at 4 seconds. And that's the end of the first half. At the end of one half, it is Austintown Fitch 7 and the Chaney Cowboys 6. All things considered, coming out here with a 1-point lead at halftime is very, very fortunate.
Yeah, really.
The hole was there, but there was just, it closed up too fast for Morrow to open it up.
He was actually picked up, I think, by one of his offensive linemen. He just took me out of the way.
It looked like he tripped. It didn't look, no one hit him, but he tripped with the entanglement on the ground. The gain was 2 yards. Handoff goes to Fred Smith, and Smith will just barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Chaney did a pretty good job of stopping up the center on that play, and it is going to bring up 3rd and long for the Falcons.
Cowboys having fun.
Strollo is wide on the left, and there's a dump off to Fred Smith, and he's got the ball inside the 40, and it will be very close to a first down. It looks like he should have it by about a yard, and that looked like a play a little bit out of the Chaney playbook, where they like to dump the ball off to Reynolds. Luckage dumped it off to our fullback, Fred Smith, Kevin, and he was able to get the first down.
Yeah, Fred Smith initially, it looked like he was going to be stopped by one of the linemen for Chaney, but he was able to make a little juke move and get around him, and he just powered his way the next 10 yards, get the first down.
But on 3rd down conversions, they've done a good job tonight.
Yeah, what's that, Barron?
Third and 2, the ball on the 28-yard line.
Converted a lot of, I think, third down.
Second and 2.
Of course, like I said earlier, this looks like a replay of last week. Second now we're coming out, and so we're really coming off the ball well and getting some running room for our backs.
There's another Chaney Cowboy that jumps a little bit early, number 72. Dennis Bellish jumped just a little bit ahead of the count, and he will be called for encroachment, and that will cost the Cowboys another 5 yards.
Encroachment penalty against the Cowboys.
And that will give the Falcons a first down inside the 25-yard line of the Cowboys. Sylvester got good penetration for the Cowboys. Leo went over him, but the Cowboys inside backers were able to make the stop at the 20-yard line. It will be 2nd and 8. We'll call it the Chaney 21.
2nd and 8 for the Falcons on the 21-yard line.
Smith and Hawkins in the backfield. Eric Luckage again, the quarterback. Luckage rolling to his right, and he's got blockers out in front. He turns the 15. He's across the 10, and he'll have another first down. Number 68, Mark Williams, made the play for the Cowboys.
Again, looks like a design run.
The Falcons use the split ends, alternating them to run in the plays. Number 11, Sean Rogers, and number 24, Steve Iacobucci, are the messengers that bring Coach Hartman's plays into the ball game. There was no gain on that. It will be 2nd and 10, and they'll have to go the full 10. I don't think they can pick up another first down.
Here comes that unbalanced line again, Randy, something we only used once in the first half.
Inside handoff to Fred Smith, touchdown! Is the holder. Bad snap, and they'll try for the 2, and Sorrego will be dropped in the backfield. The snap sort of came back on a bounce, and Ted just didn't have a chance to put it down for Chris Bernheim. Number 36, Todd DeBacchio, made the play for the Cowboys. The conversion fails, but the score with 5 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the third quarter is Austintown Fitch 20 and the Chaney Cowboys 6. Kevin, you mentioned after the last touchdown that Chaney had to have their backs up against the wall. Right now, this drive is really critical if they want to stay in the ball game.
It's imperative that they score and score now if they want to even stay in the ball game, because the way the Fitch offense is executing and moving the ball, if they're given the ball again, it's most likely they'll go down and score or
floating kick. This one is taken at the 10, fumbled by Mikovich, and he's bringing it, trying to come wide to the left side, but he's stopped by Dan Sorego, I believe. Also out there, Fred Smith, number 80, sophomore Don Hauser, also on the coverage for the Falcons.
First and 10 for the Cowboys.
This certainly isn't going to help the Cowboys, and he being inside their 20-yard line, they had.
Now Vivo's back in the shotgun, which Kevin, you talked about that they used last year. Tyrone Reynolds just ran, started his pass long before anybody else was ready. The pressure of the situation is just really getting to the Cowboys. They were real tentative the last offensive series, and they start out with a 5-yard penalty here, and the Cowboys just have to feel like the roof has fell in on them here at Falcon Stadium, even though we don't have one.
I think the situation's really getting them. Emotionally, they're somewhat down, if not really down, and a lot of them are making mistakes. It'll be interesting to see whether Jim Vivo can come back and regain his poise from the first half. Last series, he seemed to be trying to force the ball, trying to make Chaney move too fast.
The Cowboys...
Sit back there and play pass defense, and it makes things a little bit easier.
Actually, there was a gain on 2. The penalty made it 1st and 15. It's now 2nd and 13 for the Cowboys. The ball is at the Fitch 15. Vivo dropping straight back. He fires. He's got his receiver, number 27, George Phillips, makes the reception at the 30-yard line.
Eric Luckage is making some impressive hits all night. As soon as the receivers for Chaney gets the ball, he's right there to make them pay for it.
Pass play good for a first down.
Vivo did a nice job. He went off the straight drop back that time and was able to pick up 16 yards and the Cowboy first down. It will be 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line with 3 minutes 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Falcons up 20-6.
I hope I didn't.
When he got some pressure and he was able to deliver the ball to the receiver. It gives him the added advantage of keeping everything in perspective and giving him more time to throw the ball.
Plenty of time left in this football game. We have 3:11 left to go. A real nice play by inside linebacker Chris Bernard.
Yeah, we're doing a much better job, I think, here in the second half, Randy, of getting people back in their pass coverages. And Vivo's having a difficult time right now finding receivers.
Also, the pressure from the defensive line has really increased.
On the coverage, also doing a nice job on that play was Darren Fetzko. Fetzko playing the nose man slot. He is a 5'9", 162-pound senior.
Jesus, I wish I'd have known. That's our second baseman, right?
Please go to the press
He's
box.
playing nose man.
The concession stand and the sign.
Vivo dropping back, firing, and it is complete, and he gets away. Number 10. Finally dropped by Rich Morrow, but the pass to Chris Durkin is complete, and that will be a first down inside the... Jones. There's a gain on the play of 4 yards. It will be 2nd and 6 now for the Cowboys. The ball is at the Fitch 20-yard line.
That pass right there over the middle is the aerial form of the running game. It only gains 2 or 3 yards a shot, but it does get him closer to the first down.
Vivo, straight drop back, fires again over the middle, complete to Tyrone Reynolds. Reynolds trying to get free. He's down to the 15-yard line. He'll be very close. Backs in the eye for Vivo. 2 receivers wide each side. Dropping back, rolling to the left. He drops it off, and it's complete inside the 10. It will be first down Cowboys. Number 24 that time, John Benson, made the reception for the Cowboys. John, the Cowboys are doing a real good job of getting back in this.
And what impresses me too is, Chaney hasn't panicked, and they haven't gone for the bombs. They're still, sticking with their game plan and going with the high percentage ball control type passes, Randy, and doing it.
4 yards to the receivers. That means these backs out of the backfield on their short routes are able to use that cushion, and all Vivo has to do is basically shovel them the ball.
Testing. It's first and goal for the Chaney Cowboys at the 7-yard line. This is actually the 4th serious threat that the Cowboys have mounted. The first, of course, ended in 6 points. The next drive was stopped with an interception near the goal line by Rich Morrow. The next drive was stopped by a fumble recovery. Not been for the faint of heart, with the ball flying through the air the way it has been with the Menor Cardinals and now the Chaney Cowboys. It has been pure electricity the whole way through.
And I'm sure the forward pass would never work.
I'm sure Coach Jack Kenny would just soon see a team that comes in and tries to run the ball a few times instead of flooding the air with passes.
Right now, the Falcons are not playing bad defense. They're executing their defense pretty well, but Chaney is playing good offense, so it's going to be a tight battle.
Chaney comes in the power eye, and they have a couple big men in that backfield.
tangle with those big fellas, and that's not a whole lot of fun.
The gain was 2. 2nd and 5 for the Cowboys. Vivo back to pass. He's got it intercepted. Rich Morrow again. Here comes the return. Vivo misses the tackle. It's a foot race. Rich Morrow at the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Falcons!
And very similar play that they tried to run in that first half.
For the touchdown, and it's Fitch 26-6, and we'll have to see what the official mark is on the distance. The Fitch record is held by Mr. William Knight, who operates the clock here. He returned 199 yards for a touchdown, and Rich Morrow maybe a yard off.
That's when the football field is only 60 yards long, though, I think, Randy.
Well,
we were kidding Mr. Knight about that a little while ago.
Well, that was certainly an exciting play for the Falcon fans, and had to be pretty devastating.
Pick the ball off and make an outstanding run for a score.
Rich Morrow's had an excellent night in the defensive secondary. Rich last week was the offensive back of the week, and he was also the defensive back of the week, and those 2 interceptions aren't going to hurt his chances this week. Very impressive. The score after Chris Bernai's conversion, his 3rd of the night, is Fitch 27 and the Chaney Cowboys 6. That also ended the 3rd quarter. We have 1 quarter of football left. The Falcons up by 21. Chris Bernai set to kick off. He will be dropped at about the 30-yard line.
Big play certainly decided the ball game, and both last week and this week, the Falcon defense has come up with the big plays. Coach Kenny certainly has to be happy with his defense.
Hauser, Iacobucci, Sorrego, and Smith all combined for the stop on the play for the Falcons. It is 1st and 10 now for Chaney. The ball is at their own 32-yard line.
If I'm right, the Falcons now with that interception have 6 takeaways while not giving up the ball yet in 2 games.
I think that's 7. We had 4 last week, and that's the 3rd of the night. Vivo, straight drop back, throws
Tell you what, I think they're already accepting that challenge, and they're going to prove a lot of people wrong, I think, before the year's over.
Rich Morrow just came out of the ball game from the free safety slot, and he got an outstanding hand, a well-deserved one from the Fitch fans on that side. Checking into the ball game at the free safety spot is number 17. That is Doug Wilhelm, 6'1", 190-pound junior for the Falcons. 2nd and 11 now for the Chaney Cowboys. The ball is at their own 31-yard line. Fakes a handoff, and Vivo's rolling around. He's going to have to run the ball. He's across the 35 to 40, and he will be dropped after picking up a 1st down. 3 scores down. That's not much. 1st and 10, Chaney at their own 42-yard line. Pop pass over the middle, and it is complete. Number 7 made the stop for the Falcons. Ted Sorrego put the hit on immediately, but number 12, Mike Kolar, did a good job holding on. He got hit just as that ball got there.
Yeah, I think he paid the price for that reception. And Chaney still is showing a lot of patience, sticking with a lot of short stuff, and I expect them here real quick though to go deep and try. They got to get a quick score here. That clock is slowly diminishing up there, Randy.
They have 2 backs in the backfield, only 1 wide receiver. 2nd and 4 at their own 48-yard line. Bevo with Tyrone Reynolds out of the tailback slot in the eye, came up trying to get the yard, and he was denied. Good job by the front men of the Falcons. Number 75, Bill Rowland, led it. Donnie Jones came up from the linebacker spot to make the hit. And we have timeout for the Chaney Cowboys with 9:03 left in the 4th quarter. It is 4th and 2.
And this probably is a similar situation that
that's when the other team can start taking advantage of you because you're mentally not prepared to play. And I think Chaney right now, as it looks, is not that excited out on the ball field. They're just not ready to play, it looks.
Next week, the Austintown Fitch Falcons will be back in action here at Falcon Stadium on Friday night. Their opponent will be a brand new one for Fitch. They will take on Columbus Marion Franklin. We mentioned earlier that they played a real powerhouse down there in Lancaster and lost by 2 touchdowns, so it should be an interesting ball game. A Southern Ohio team coming up north. Vivo is dropped, and he's hit by number 52, Darren Fetzko, and he broke up the pass play, and the Falcons will take over on downs.
I think Ron Stroll.
Kevin, that looked like a straight keep.
That's one of the design plays of the Falcons. He rolls out and looking to the defense like he's intending to pass, but it's all and totally he's intending on running the ball. The guards go upfield and make their blocks. Right now, all Coach Dave Hartman is looking for out of the offense is 4 or 5 yards of play in order to get those first downs, eat up the clock, and go home into the locker room with a victory.
John Dorenza checks into the ball game at the guard position. 8:24 left in the football game. Handoff straight ahead to Fred Smith. Smith inside the 40. He'll have a Chaney first down. He'll have a first down in Chaney territory.
Would you say you were drinking Coke over there, Ren? Kevin pointed out, Randy, right now, we pick up another first down or two. We're down to about, 7:35 on the clock. We've got things pretty well under control, I guess, right now.
New split end in the ball game for the Falcons, number 44, Brian Cole. That number ring any bells, Kevin?
44, of course. Probably one of the greatest outside linebackers ever.
Handoff.
That's a subjective opinion, of course.
Leo Hawkins.
Handoff went to Leo Hawkins. Handoff again goes to Leo. He's going wide. There's a penalty flag down. I think they're going to flag the Falcons for something. It looked like the official looked into the line play.
Leo Hawkins carrying the ball. There's a flag on the play.
Always reminds me of those state Iowa patrolmen. I guess they have a quota, Randy, and they have to give so many tickets out per day or whatever. And I think the officials do that sometimes because they are evaluated. And let's see what they call.
Clipping against the Falcons.
Really been a penalty-free game, though, I think. There haven't been too many. Well-played game for a Chaney Fitch game, especially. We haven't had any altercations or...
Yeah, there have been no penalties. Carrier.
Stop by Brian Frank.
It will be fourth down. The Falcons will punt. The Cowboys only have 6 minutes left in the ball game.
Our defense comes out for an enjoyable time in a sense. This is a time when you're on the line, you know they're going to pass, and it's time to go and try to get a few QB sacks. And I know the defensive secondary is thinking interceptions as well.
Eric Luckage back to punt for the Falcons. 44 is the line of scrimmage. High snap, but Luckage gets it off under pressure. The ball bounces at the 25-yard line, takes a Chaney roll all the way back up the field to about the 32. The Cowboys went after it, were not able to get it, but they did benefit from a very beneficial bounce back up the field.
On the 32.
We've got Doug Wilhelm in the secondary too, Randy. I don't know whether you've mentioned that or not. We'll try and get as many of these kids, that, especially the new faces that have just come in.
Bevo drops back, passes over the middle, and it's complete. Doug Wilhelm makes the tackle. The completion was good to the 47-yard line. That will be a first down. Doug Wilhelm made the stop. Checking into the ballgame now for the Falcons is number 80. That is sophomore Don Hauser.
He's from Rome, Italy. Welcome, Stefano Ranieri.
We play them this week?
Bevo out of the shotgun, completes his pass to his tight end, Tom Thorne. He's brought down inbound. Boland and Cooper are the tackles. Vivo in trouble, and he gets the pass off, and a great catch by Tyrone Reynolds, close to the first down. Hauser again made the stop.
Reynolds taking a pass. The stop was made by...
I think Mr. Hauser someday is, I think, going to make it big, Randy. He's got the size, he's got the quickness, he's an intelligent kid, and a very aggressive football player. Look for great things from him in the future.
It is 3rd and 1 for the Cowboys. The ball is at the Fitch 43. Number 55, Rich Remus in the ballgame at noseman for the Falcons. That pass... keeper. He'll have the first down and go out of bounds. Driven out on the sidelines by number 30, Eric Luckage.
And a little surprising here, I guess, that, you mentioned Mr. Luckage, that, we are up by 3 touchdowns and we're down to less than 3 minutes, that we still have some of the starters in there, Randy.
Dave Cooper just checked out of the game at tackle. Coming in also for the Falcons, 44, Brian Cole. And as you mentioned it, but also the pounding that those Chaney receivers took as they made those completions early in the ballgame. The Fitch secondary certainly hits. Vivo rolling out, fires underneath to Tyrone Reynolds. Another good grab, and he's stopped by Hauser. Since Hauser's checking into the ballgame, he's certainly been busy. In the ballgame at defensive tackle now is number 72. That's Kenny Carano. Computer points. 2:04 left in the ball game. Vivo again back to pass, drops it off again, same pattern, and it's complete again. Kolar did a good job of keeping his feet in bounds as he cut that little sideline route and dropped out of bounds. He also stops the clock. And even though the ball game is certainly well in hand here, 27-6, I know the Falcon defense just really wants to stop the Cowboys from being able to score here. In the ballgame now at inside linebacker for the Falcons is number 61, Joe Supko. This big crowd filing out. Vivo rolling out to his left, and he fires, and it is complete to Chris Durkin, and Durkin almost makes a move on the outside, but he is dropped after a completion, which is good for about 4 yards. Fred Smith made the play for the Falcons.
And I'm sure the Falcons, you know, as you pointed out, Randy, are trying to keep the Cowboys out of their end zone because there are a lot of goals that they have both defensively and offensively, and also as a team that they'd like to reach or attain, and they're going to play it right to the whistle.
Bokish in the ball game for the... Vivo rolling again to his right, drops it off to Tyrone Reynolds, and Reynolds is close to the goal line. I think they're going to rule that he was dropped at about the 1. Hauser over there, along with Supko. Fred Smith also on the tackle for the Falcons. It is going to be 4th and a yard to go for the Chaney Cowboys.
Now we look back on it, Randy, and that interception by Morrow looks bigger and bigger because this is exactly what the Cowboys were doing at that time when Rich came up with that big play and fortunately changed the complexion of this game.
Have led to Fitch scores, and that's really being an opportunistic football team.
That's exactly what the coaches want to see. In fact, that is one of the goals that we have both defensively and offensively, is to make the big plays.
Another thing that's been impressive that we sort of alluded to is the fact that in 2 ball games now, the score.
Too bad this wasn't the NFL. We could use the instant replay on that call.
Reynolds going in for the score.
Mike Kolar for the Cowboys laying on the ground, coming up with it, but he could not reach it. And so the score remains Austintown Fitch 27 and Chaney 12 with 34 seconds left to go in the football game.
And right now, all I'm worried about, Randy, is if that traffic light at the corner of Berkey and Raccoon is working, because I see the cars backed up, and I'd like to get home before breakfast tomorrow.
Well, we may be able to stick around long enough to see the Fitch soccer team play tomorrow. They take on a real powerhouse out of the Akron area. Fitch soccer team undefeated.
Well, if we're to look ahead till next week.
Big, powerful fullback who's doing the same thing for the California Golden Bears.
Certainly I coached them well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just incredible.
Well, we'll keep your microphone open, Kevin. Don't worry about a thing. I don't think your little brother wants to replace you at this yet, does he?
No, not yet.
Well, there's been a rather lengthy delay here as we try and get it. I assume the Chaney Cowboys will try an onside kick just to give it every possible chance. 34 seconds left to go. They're still down by 2 scores. Number 59 on the front line for the Falcons. I don't have a number 50. Job. He got it on a nice high bounce, took it and fell to the ground immediately. The Falcons will take over 1st and 10.
Sure,
And
had
they're on
their second
48.
baseman, Randy.
1st and 10 for the Falcons.
Obviously the product of good coaching there.
You see how he
I think
fielded
Coach
that
Capola
grounder
works
there?
with the... That's Coach Capola's position, I believe. He works with the second baseman.
Yeah, okay.
Luckily, he didn't try to get up and make the throw to first.
The Falcons are just going to let the clock roll. Doug Wilhelm.
First 2 games, they'll be up, but they have never played against this Columbus team, and there's really no area recognition of the team. So they may take the stance of, by not knowing them, that they may take an easier stance and their intensity might go down. Hopefully that won't happen.
The only thing that is sort of a sign is, you know, what kind of team it is. I mentioned earlier they played Lancaster the first week. Lancaster is an opponent later on this season and were last season of Canton McKinley. And last year, in the last game of the season, they gave Canton McKinley all they wanted before bowing, but just a couple of points. And as we all know, Canton...
These first 2 weeks. And I'm sure that Columbus, as you point out, Lancaster is always a state powerhouse, and you know, if they can hang in there with them, I'm sure they're going to come up here and give us all we want.
Was made by Ken Pawlowski.
Kowalczyk was the ball carrier. He gained 2 on the play. The Cowboys stopped the clock with only 10 seconds left to go. And I suppose this is just sort of a reflection of the never say die attitude. You know, the coaching staff wants to instill on the Chaney players, but we're just sort of playing out the string with the Falcons up by 2 touchdowns. We mentioned next week the Chaney Cowboys travel over to... The final score is Austintown Fitch 27 and Chaney 12.
The Fitch Falcons 27. The Chaney Cowboys 12.
Guys, I think the story of this game is very simple. We came up with the big plays on defense. Chaney was forced into committing the critical turnovers, and the Falcons turned those turnovers into points, and another big victory over an outstanding Chaney football team.
Now, right now, the Falcons, quote, an inexperienced team has shown us that they have poise and they play near perfect football in these past 2 games. They execute well, and if they continue to do this throughout the year, they're definitely going to have a very successful year.
John, this is a Chaney team that's going to give a lot of people a lot of trouble the rest of the way. Jim V. identical score, 27-12 here against the Chaney Cowboys. And what was, really an iffy question mark season, the optimism and the confidence of this team has to just be building week by week. A really impressive performance tonight, and the Falcons can be very proud of what they've done the first 2 weeks of the 86 season. We will be back next Friday night when the Austintown